Welcome back to Half Baked, the continuing story of an idiot trying to make bread. Today, we'll be discussing sourdough. What we call sourdough is probably the oldest form of leavened bread, with a history reaching all the way back to at least ancient Egypt, likely discovered when some idiot left dough out and yeast came along and had their way with it, leading the bread to rise when it was finally baked and the idiot to pretend that that was what he intended all along. To make real sourdough, you're going to need a starter. It's literally just water and flour left out at room temperature. Now, you'd think it would rot, but as long as you feed it regularly, once a day at room temperature or once a week in the refrigerator, it won't. Go watch our sourdough shorts to see the whole process from start to finish. Once your starter is ready, it's time to make our bread. Take a bowl, preferably an inconveniently large one, dump some bread flour and whole wheat flour into it, pour some water in, and then struggle to scrape in your starter. Oh, if I didn't mention before, you need to feed your starter before starting. Using a bowl scraper, mix everything to combine into a giant shaggy mass before covering it and letting it sit for 1 hour. This allows the flour to absorb all the water and to relax a bit before we have to get violent with it. After an hour, throw in some salt and fold it to incorporate. This will distribute the salt all the way through the dough. Cover and leave for half an hour, and then fold the dough into itself once more. Repeat every half hour for a minimum of another hour and a half, up to, well, really as long as you like. The more you do it, the better the final product will be. And the longer you leave at room temperature, the better the rise will be. Cover and refrigerate overnight. At least 8 hours, but I like to go for 12 or more. This slow, cold fermentation will cause the sour flavor to be really pronounced. If you don't like that, you could skip this step. It's up to you. Take out of the fridge and allow to come to room temperature, folding a couple times to strengthen the gluten structure. Cut in half and loosely shape, or vainly attempt to loosely shape, before transferring to floured proofing baskets, or bowls, whatever you have. It will be easier to shape if you fold it more than I did, but if you went for the minimum, you will end up with a very loose and extremely sticky dough. It will literally stick to everything. If you're using baskets, make sure to pre-season them with a few layers of flour and water. And also, when ready to use, flour them a lot more than I did because, well, you'll see. Now, aside from the starter, sourdough can be some of the best bread for first-time bakers to try because it's very forgiving and nearly impossible to screw up. Not impossible, just nearly. Ignore me struggling to transfer this dough in this basket. Like I said, it sticks to literally everything. Flour set aside, and fail only slightly less. With the boule, we're going to do a process that's known as stitching. This will help to tighten the ball and to seal the bottom to make it rise better once it hits the oven. Cover and allow to proof for at least 1.5 hours, preferably longer. While proofing, preheat your oven to 500 degrees along with a cast iron Dutch oven or baking stone of some kind and a pan of water for steam. Don't watch as I do my best to get the dough out of the proofing basket smoothly and fail pretty miserably. It's definitely not my fault. I don't know whose it is, but it's not mine. Cringe as I think about almost slicing my fingers on my lamb, and score your bread deep. Attempt, but mostly fail, to transfer the loaf to your baking stone, having not used nearly enough cornmeal on my peel. Sprinkle cornmeal onto the stone before doing this. For the boule, we're going to fail slightly less miserably at placing it into the Dutch oven, also sprinkled with cornmeal beforehand. Score your boule, well, eventually. Struggle to score your boule. Cover. Whenever you get around to it. And place into the oven for 20 minutes before turning the temperature down to 450 degrees, removing the Dutch oven lid, and baking for another 30 minutes until the surface is a deep, dark brown, crunchy, and the bread gives a hollow sound when tapped. It's not as pretty as I would have liked it, but it still came out pretty good. Now ignore as I struggle to get this boule out of this Dutch oven. It'll happen eventually. There we go. Tap again, make sure it sounds hollow, just like with the loaf. Cut, enjoy, and join us as we use this bread to make the perfect grilled cheese in an upcoming episode. Now, if you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and stay tuned. We make new ones every single week. And please watch my videos. It's the only time my producer allows me to eat.